Thank you to the youth marching band, Pride Marching Band. We'll be hearing from them again later, but for now on, hello and welcome and happy Pride, San Diego. My name is Deja.
And I am Amber St. James.
And we will be your MCs for this evening?
Yes!
Today? Tonight? Yes!
All right, now, before we head into the national anthem, we'll offer a land acknowledgement of the indigenous lands that we are currently on. Now, obviously, to be clear, land acknowledgements do not absolve us of the settler colonial privilege or the violence, but they give us an opportunity to honor the lands, its people, and its history. Now, unfortunately, Chairwoman Erica Pinto will not be able to join us. She is stuck in a meeting doing that fabulous work, but my fabulous co-host will be providing us our land acknowledgement.
Yes, I got sent what I was supposed to say, so please excuse me. I'm also gonna lift this because, you know, we're kind of tall girls. Could I get some help? Because I'm not a very strong girl. Oh, wait, I got it. The testosterone kicked in. Shady, huh? Today we're coming to you from land belonging to the Kumeyaay Nation. They have been stewards of this land for over 10,000 years and never ceded this land, but instead were forcibly removed from it through colonial theft, broken promises, violence, and genocide. Despite this violence, this is still indigenous land and will always be so. We hope you will take a moment to recognize whose land we are on, and we hope you'll consider supporting local indigenous groups like the Strong-Hearted Native Women's Coalition. You can find out more about them at www.strongheartednativewomen.org. Now, before we shift into the national anthem, we're going to take a moment to thank our officials, live streaming partner, Options for All. Am I saying this right? Who are ensuring folks at home who can join this rally. I'd also like to thank our venue hosts, Hillcrest Business Association, who's provided us with this space and stage for this year. Thank you, Options for All, and HBA. A round of applause. I also want to thank the elected officials and their staffers in the audience. We have Mayor Todd Gloria in the house, Senate Pro Tem Tony Atkins, a representative for Assembly Chris Ward, a representative for Supervisor Tara Lawson-Sir-Reamer. We have Council Member Stephen Whitburn, Council Member Jen Campbell, Governor Gavin Newsom, we have a representative from Congressperson Sarah Jacobs, a representative from Assembly Member Tasha
Warner Horvath? There we go. That's right. Not my major.
That's right. And Assembly Member Akila Weber, Chair Nathan Fletcher, Council Member Joe LaCava, Council Member Marina Von Wilbert, Council President Sean Elo Rivera, and Chairman John Christman. Thank you.
All right, now I'd like to invite up my apologies. Let's follow the script here. And lastly, thank you to our ASL interpreter, Rozzy, Paul, and Jessica. They're seated up front here for folks using ASL or just needing a seat. Now, I'd like to invite up the incredibly talented Angelica Ella from the San Diego Women's Chorus, one of our awardees this year, to offer the national anthem. While Angelica offers this song, this anthem to the promise of what our country could be, the promise we are all working towards fulfilling for each other. Please also welcome the San Diego Pride Military Department's Honor Guard for the presentation of the colors. Now, this Honor Guard is made up of transgender, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and queer veterans, so let's hear it.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through this perilous fight in the darkness we see are so gallantly streaming. Never doubt, never fear, sing for justice and cheer. We stand a band fight for the rights we hold dear. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you so much, Angelica, and thank you so much to the members of the Pride Military Department Honor Guard. Now, next up, we will be welcoming our amazing Executive Director for San Diego Pride.
Can I get a hey girl? I know you can do better than that. It's been 3 years since we had full-scale Pride. We're into practice. Can I get a hey girl? That feels so much better. It's Pride now. Hola, buenas tardes. Me llamo Fernando López. Soy el director ejecutivo de Orgullo San Diego. Feliz Orgullo. Happy Pride. I have the honor and privilege of welcoming someone to the stage who's going to give you the official welcome to San Diego Pride. My senator, the Senate President Pro Tem, and currently our governor, don't know if you knew that, Tony Atkins.
Happy Pride, San Diego! Let's give it up for Fernando. Aren't they great? That color. Well, thank you for the introduction. And I'm Tony Atkins, your senator. My pronouns are she, her, hers. It's so great for us to be together. Given what's going on across the country, it's so important that people feel our energy everywhere. So, as Fernando said, I'm going to say in accordance with our state constitution, with Governor Newsom and the Lieutenant Governor being out of town, out of state, and not here, I have the opportunity to serve as your acting governor for at least it, let me tell you. He won't let me do anything, but I'm working it. So the governor is actually scheduled to be back in about an hour. So my very last official gubernatorial action is to declare that San Diego has the most fabulous pride ceremonies in all of California. It is great to be here in San Diego, and I want to say congratulations to all the people being honored tonight, so well deserved. And I got to take a special moment of privilege and say how thrilled I am to hear that we're going to hear as a keynote speaker tonight a good friend. Reggie Greer is here. You're going to hear him later. He's worn many hats. A dear friend, I met him at Victory. He now, of course, has moved on to other things, but he also represented us very well in the White House. So I look forward to hearing from Reggie a little later in the program. But the theme for our Pride this year, San Diego, is Justice with Joy. And justice is really about equality and securing and preserving our rights. And we're going to do that, right? Joy includes the pursuit of happiness and the ability to live our lives freely as we choose without interference. And right now, our rights are under attack. While California continues to enact legislation that empowers the LGBTQ plus community, other states are moving to take away rights. We're seeing trans youth being denied the opportunity to participate in school sports teams. And some states are even going so far as to criminalize gender-affirming medical care for transgender adolescents. And there are infamous attempts to erase our very history and hide our existence through laws such as Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill. But of equal concern is the recent decision by the U.S. Supreme Court to strike down Roe versus Wade. Let's be clear. The right to abortion affects women, trans, non-binary folks. It affects our families. It affects every one of us, regardless of how we identify. We are going to fight back. We're going to do it in California, and we're going to make sure it reverberates throughout this country. And I know you're with me. And that's why I authored a constitutional amendment to explicitly provide for the fundamental constitutional right to abortion and the right to choose contraception or to refuse contraceptives, which is consistent with and it bolsters California's existing rights to privacy and equal protection. That amendment was passed by the legislature, and now all California voters will have the chance to make our voices heard in November. So vote yes on Proposition 1. As we come together tonight and tomorrow, we celebrate our accomplishments this weekend, but we also we have to rededicate ourselves to the pursuit of liberty, justice, and equality for all people. And I know San Diego is willing to join that fight. I know that San Diego is willing to join that fight. We have to recommit ourselves. We have to double down. This is a call to action. And we're kicking it off right here, right now. Are you with me? Have an incredible weekend. It is so good to see you. I'll see you tonight and on the route tomorrow. Happy Pride, San Diego.
Thank you so much, Senator Atkins. And now to announce the first of this year's Spirit of Stonewall Awards, the Champion of Pride Award, please welcome Commissioner Julia Legaspi.
Good afternoon and happy Pride. This year's honoree began his contribution to the nonprofit field as a volunteer for San Diego Pride many years ago. And at his core, he is a public servant dedicated to economic and social justice, especially in the LGBTQ and API communities. A couple of his accomplishments include co-founding the Queer Apimeta Coalition, a program of San Diego Pride, and co-founder of San Diego API Coalition. Two groups that work to harness the power of community and togetherness to make positive social and positive policy change. He has also leveraged his leadership and expertise in social media, marketing, communication, and organizing in civic engagement campaigns, business development, and nonprofit organizational development. And he's just getting started in serving the LGBTQ and API communities through the many different roles he currently serves in. He is committed to uplifting queer, trans, Asian, Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander voices, and representation in small business, arts and culture, and in leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor to introduce your 2022 Champion of Pride, Alex Villafuerte.
Hold on, Tita. We're not quite done yet. This one is not on the program, but it is my honor to introduce one special surprise awardee, our 2022 Hero of Pride. The Hero of Pride Award goes to an individual who has demonstrated remarkable leadership in the LGBTQ community by directly combating anti-transgender and anti-LGBTQ discrimination and hate. Commissioner Julia Legaspi is a decades-long transgender activist, the first transgender person appointed to public office in the city of San Diego, and only the third in the country. She has been at the forefront of LGBTQ rights and continues to open doors and opportunities for the many communities she represents, including the Filipino and minority-owned small businesses. She's about to celebrate her 40th year as a business owner in San Diego. Most recently, Commissioner Legaspi advocated for transgender empowerment and visibility in the County of San Diego Leon L. Williams Human Relations Commission, where she endured hate speech and anti-transgender attacks from members of the public and actual members of the commission. Despite dehumanizing attacks, Commissioner Legaspi leaned into the process to help reshape the bylaws and code of conduct to ensure that other marginalized communities were protected from further hate speech. Your 2022 Hero of Pride Award, Julia Legaspi. Thank you so much.
Congrats to Alex and Julia. Now, it is our job to present the next three Spirit of Stonewall Awards. First, our 2022 Community Service Award to Aiden Lin. The Community Service Award is presented to an up-and-coming leader in the LGBTQ+ community, or whose contribution to the community in the past year was of particular significance. Aiden is actually both of these things. A UC San Diego student studying political science, Aiden has already made a significant impact on our community. During the city's 2020 redistricting process, he led and empowered hundreds of students to give public comments in support of the SD community's collaboration map, working alongside the LGBTQIA+, Asian, Latina, and Black communities in historical intersectional citywide coalition. While still in high school, Aiden founded Our Time to Act United, a 501c3 youth empowerment organization. Aiden is a force, and we cannot wait to see what he does next. Congratulations, Aiden.
Next, our 2022 Stonewall Philanthropy Award to Viejas Casino and Resort. Yes, that's a round of applause, thank you. The Stonewall Philanthropy Award goes to a group, organization, or individual that has diligently raised funds to support the LGBTQ community. In 2020, alongside much of the world, the San Diego Pride organization was faced with many losses, setbacks, and unknowns. The fate of the organization was at stake, and without the ability to host the parade and festival, the outlook was bleak. Viejas Casino and Resort stepped forward and provided over $135,000 in support to San Diego Pride to assist, with pivoting events virtually, hybrid, and pandemic-cautious programming. Their generosity provided the necessary financial and operational support to carry Pride through unprecedented times. Thank you, Viejas.
Woo! now, our Stonewall Service Award to the San Diego Union Tribune. The Stonewall Service Award goes to a group or organization that has stalwartedly supported the LGBTQ community. Under its current leadership, the UT has highlighted and uplifted LGBTQ plus issues and voices in a truly meaningful and impactful way. The Union Tribune's mission is to spread knowledge, build understanding, and create opportunity in the communities we serve. From a number of opinion sections intentionally centering the voices of LGBTQ plus people to using its platform to inform readers about our community, using words written by our community, the Union Tribune has shown their commitment to the LGBTQ plus community. Thank you and congratulations, Union Tribune.
And lastly, for this round, an award that was presented on Wednesday at Light Up at the Cathedral with St. Paul's Cathedral. Our 2022 Light Up Pride Award goes to the Border Church, a non-sanctuary church ministry centered in the celebration of open-tabled communion. Reverend John Fanestile and Guillermo Nervarte lead services on either side of the U.S.-Mexico border as a way to build community, unity, and liberation across our southern border. Congratulations to the Border Church leadership. And now I'm honored to introduce our first speaker, someone who has spoken out publicly and loudly against the abuse at our border, specifically within Border Patrol. Jen Budd was a senior patrol agent with the U.S. Border Patrol in San Diego, an intelligence agent at San Diego Sector Headquarters from 1995 to 2001, when she resigned in protest because of the corruption and brutality she witnessed. Since 2015, she speaks out on national and local news, community panels, podcasts, and radio. Please welcome Jen Budd to the stage.
I'm a little shorter than the ladies before me, so I didn't wear my heels tonight, sorry. So yeah, I was a former senior patrol agent with the U.S. Border Patrol in 1999. I was the first Border Patrol agent to demand to be able to march in pride in uniform here in San Diego. There's a great pic of me marching in line with a cowboy hat on in my thinner and younger days, but that's long ago. Thanks. So, you know, a lot of people, when we talk about migrants and asylum seekers that are coming to our southern border today, we don't hear a lot about LGBTQ. And, you know, people come here for the same reasons that straight people come here. They're coming because they're unsafe in their own countries. You know, and we in our own country, we know this, but we've been fortunate in the recent past and the recent years to be able to make some progress. And now we might be looking at going backwards, but still, right now, this is the safest place for LGBTQ refugees and asylum seekers. Thank you. Yes, definitely. And the United States government considers LGBTQ asylum seekers and refugees, they consider them to be an exception to Title 42. But what we're finding out right now is that recently, just this week, a couple of days ago, I went and visited one of the shelters that is specifically for LGBTQ. And what I found is that the CBP and Border Patrol are laughing at them and turning them away. And that's because this administration is giving them discretion on whether they will see them or not. And so I met a transgender woman yesterday who has 2 bullets in her body. Has a black eye. And they will not let her in, and they laugh at her. And this is pretty much the attitude all the way across the border. So even though the United States Border Patrol and CBP during Pride will put out rainbow flags and all this other stuff on their social media, they don't actually support us. They don't support us being in their ranks, which is fine with me because I think they should be abolished anyhow. But you know, for our family that are coming from other countries, they don't have a choice. And they have to come through CBP, and they have to come through Border Patrol. And what I want you to know, I want to tell the truth. If you know anything about me, I really tell the truth. So LGBTQ are twice as likely to stay in custody longer, even though they've passed their credible fear hearings. They will stay sometimes even after they pass their critical hearings, and they will end up having to stay in custody for longer. In ICE facilities, they put them in solitary confinement. They claim that this is for their safety, but what we found is that they're actually using this as punishment. LGBTQ, while they only make up 14% of the population of ICE, they make up 12% of the victims. If you are LGBTQ and you are in Border Patrol, CBP, or ICE custody, you are 97 times more likely to be sexually assaulted. And if it's an agent that's assaulting you, then it will be covered up and nobody will know about it. So I think it's important for us not just to celebrate our pride and be aware of the risks that are coming down the line possibly towards us, but we also need to pay attention to the asylum seekers and the migrants that are at our southern border. Because if this is the way they are going to treat asylum seekers, who are lying to us and telling us that they can come through and they are exception to the rule to Title 42, then that's the way they're going to want to treat us down the line. That's how I see it. So I just want to say at closing, let us remember Roxana Hernandez Rodriguez, a transgender woman who died in ICE custody because ICE refused to provide her with her medicine for AIDS. ICE claims she died of dehydration, but an independent autopsy found she was beaten. Let us remember Johanna Medina Leon, transgender woman who died recently after ICE released her from custody. They refused to not provide her with any treatment for her HIV status. And let us remember that while many in our community currently enjoy the freedom to live our true lives, others within our community cannot. The LGBTQ community has a long history of fighting for rights. Our community has grown in these last few decades and become stronger. And let us remember our LGBTQ family members on the other side of that goddamn ugly wall and in those detention centers. Happy Pride. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jen, for those powerful words. Next up is an environmental advocate and researcher who has used his platform and expertise to draw attention to not only the current environmental crisis of climate change, but also to the intersections between race and environmentalism. Kevin Lee is an environmental researcher and advocate currently working on environmental sustainability at Dr. Bronner's. In addition to this work as an expert in environmental research and advocacy, he is a founding member and current co-chair of the San Diego Queer Happy Meta Coalition, creating a sense of belonging for LGBTQ+ API communities. Kevin.
Thank you, Amber. First off, I want to give thanks for the land acknowledgement earlier and the reminder that all of us are on lands once tended by, if not currently, by Indigenous peoples for millennia. As they are the original stewards of the land we inhabit, we must create spaces for Indigenous voices and knowledge when we talk about environmental health and solutions for the planet. Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Lee. I use he, him pronouns, and I consider myself a queer, intersectional environmentalist. Let's begin with the elephant in the room, the United States Supreme Court. They have not been passing the vibe check lately. With Roe v. Wade being overturned and the decisions in Oklahoma v. Castro Huerta and West Virginia v. EPA, we are seeing a complete disregard for people's health and bodies, Indigenous sovereignty, and the right to properly combat the climate crisis. So what's happened? Why and how are we at this point in time? What's the common thread that has led us to these Supreme Court decisions that will impact our lives, and even more so for those with marginalized identities? Well, white supremacy, white nationalism, capitalism. These are the systems of oppression that perpetuate hate and acts of violence for dominance over both our lands and human lives. One of the legacies of white supremacy is the climate crisis, which disproportionately impacts our LGBTQ community. Many of us might already know that over 40% of homeless youth identify as LGBTQ. And they are the first ones affected by natural disasters exacerbated by the climate crisis. Also, if and when we begin to seek more disaster relief, we can predict that queer people will be turned away because of our identities and for existing as we truly are. All that to say, our conversations around climate resilience and adaptation need to include LGBTQ voices and perspectives because the climate crisis and environmental issues are LGBTQ issues. So let's talk about solutions for a little bit. First off, if we want to see change, we really do need to vote in every election, volunteer for campaigns, run for office, and especially at the state and local levels. White supremacists have been doing it for years and they've been successful. But beyond voting, we need more intersectional solutions. As you've heard, environmental issues are LGBTQ issues, which means LGBTQ solutions are environmental solutions. What does that mean? Well, when I reflect upon the most effective strategies for our planet's greatest challenges, including the environment, I keep coming back to how the best solutions and networks center truth, community, and love. Sounds like things we find in chosen family, doesn't it? We in the LGBTQ community know that for any of us to make it in a world where forces want to take us down, we lean on chosen family, this network, this collective, where we find support, care, and solutions. So I urge you this weekend to remember to let the people around you know how much you value and love them. Do this to old and new connections alike. Now listen, this idea that the solution to everything is love may be cliche, but if you think about it, centering love is actually at the same time the most radical and practical solution we have. When we choose love and support Earth's beings intentionally, we reject white supremacy, systems of oppression, hate, and all of their false binaries. Speaking of false binaries, we should find joy in what we actually find in nature. That includes fluidity, queerness, and magical metamorphosis. And in that regard, real environmental solutions are LGBTQ solutions. When we achieve environmental justice, we'll achieve racial justice, immigration justice, reproductive justice, disability justice, indigenous sovereignty, queer liberation, justice with joy. Happy Pride San Diego, and I hope to see you around this weekend.
Thank you so much, Kevin. We've all seen the increase of intentional misinformation and elected leaders targeting members of the press in the last few years. Something that has been made particularly clear during the pandemic. Our next speaker will help draw the connections between a free press, access to credible and accurate information, and the current climate of journalists, especially LGBTQ+ journalists. That's a round of applause. My good friend Andrew Bowen is a Metro reporter for KPBS, covering a broad range of issues supporting local government. His reporting has won numerous awards, and as Vice President of San Diego Society of Professional Journalists, Andrew has led trainings for his colleagues on how to cover the LGBTQ community and advocate for greater LGBTQ representation in newsroom and the press. Please welcome Andrew.
Hi, my name's Andrew Bowen. I'm a reporter for KPBS Public Radio and TV, and thank you. And I want to talk to you today about why a truly free press requires us to purge homophobia and transphobia from the entire field of journalism. My field has come a long way. I have to say, really happy to see the UT getting an award today. There was a time when a newspaper like them wouldn't have even accepted an award like that, much less been granted one. So give it up for the UT. There was a time when me speaking on this stage would have cost me my job. There's a time when I would have been expected to stay in the closet to be a journalist. And even today, some newsrooms would not allow me to cover issues like same-sex marriage because as an out and proud gay man who's beautifully gay married to a beautiful gay husband, I'm too close to the story. I'm too close to the story and I can't be objective. Remember that word. Thankfully, these are not challenges that I've had to deal with a lot in San Diego. But I am a privileged white cis man. I want to tell you all a story about what happened to a journalist named Stel Klein. You can follow them on Twitter, S-T-E-L, Klein with a K. In November 2021, Stel became the first openly trans and non-binary journalist ever employed by South Dakota Public Broadcasting. South Dakota, the home of Governor Kristi Noem, who signed one of those laws that bans trans girls from competing in school athletics. And not only was Stel the first employed there, they were the morning edition radio anchor. The entire state of South Dakota could wake up in the morning, turn on the radio, and hear a trans non-binary person reading them the news. Think of what that did for all of the trans youth in the state. All of those little girls who couldn't play soccer with their classmates. Let's give it up for trailblazers like Stel and all the other firsts around here, blazing new paths for other people who will have an easier time because somebody else did it first. I wish I could say this story has a happy ending, and maybe it will someday. But half an hour before Stel started their first day at South Dakota Public Broadcasting, they were informed that the station's magazine article that was announcing their hire would not have any of their pronouns in it. Stel confronted the manager who had made that decision, and he told them he didn't want to prejudice the audience against them. He wanted the audience to have an open mind. So he decided to erase Stel's identity. The station encouraged Stel to get on Twitter, develop an online persona, and tweet experiences about what it's like to live in South Dakota. But when Stel tweeted about being verbally harassed because they are trans in South Dakota, the bosses said that Stel lost credibility and that they weren't objective. In April, Stel was fired. And it was the same excuse from their managers. They're not objective. Objectivity in journalism is an idea that was created by white, cis, straight men to reinforce their worldview on everybody else and to silence the voices of queer journalists, of BIPOC journalists, of journalists from all kinds of marginalized backgrounds. People who are looking around at their country today, seeing their rights being taken away, and they can't even speak openly about it in public because they're afraid of appearing biased. Objectivity isn't just discriminatory, it also leads to bad journalism. Objectivity is what leads to dangerous myths like the police are always right and they never lie. Or myths like there are two sides to climate change. Or that a trans person's right to gender-affirming healthcare should be up for debate. Should it? No! Queer journalists are still today fighting for a voice and to be their full selves in their jobs, and when news organizations like South Dakota Public Broadcasting won't allow that, You all need to call them out. Will you do it? Thank you.
Thank you so much to our speakers so far. It is now time to make a justice-filled, joyful noise. Time for some awards. I truly do love this, getting to recognize such amazing leaders in our community.
Same, and who would have thought that little San Diego has a lot of incredible humans? So exciting. The Friend of Pride Award is our first award. And this is an individual who does not identify as LGBTQ, but who has supported the LGBTQ community over an extended period of time and or has made an exceptional contribution in the past year. We absolutely couldn't pass up recognizing either one of these nominees, so we've made two friends for the Friend of Pride Award this year. Round of applause. First up, Trin Lay co-led a city redistricting coalition in 2021 with various BIPOC and LGBTQ community leaders from all over the city of San Diego to advocate for strengthening empowerment districts, including maximizing the LGBTQ plus population in the LGBTQ Empowerment District, which is District 3. Yes, that is the same coalition that our Community Service Award, Aiden, was part of. This is a powerhouse we're dealing with, y'all, just so y'all know. Trin has been the organizing director for Mid-City CAN for the past 3 years. Previously, she has worked for the Center of Policy Initiatives, Pacific Arts Movement, Little Saigon Foundation, and the ACLU of San Diego and Imperial Counties. In all of her work, she ensures that LGBTQ people are not only at the table, but that our voices are heard and meaningfully included. Congratulations, Trin.
And now, for our other amazing Friend of Pride, Vanessa Green envisions and works tirelessly to manifest an abundant world where all LGBTQ plus people of every age are safe, pursuing their dreams and goals and held by a strong, loving community. She is founder of Call Black Line, a crisis listening line that prioritizes Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and works through an unapologetic LGBTQ plus Black femme lens. Vanessa is a proud and active member of the Center's Black LGBTQ plus Community Advisory Committee and sits on the organizing committee for San Diego March for Black Women and Black Women Deserve. In addition to all of that, for her paid work, Vanessa works in the newly created County of San Diego Office for Equity and Racial Justice as Equity Impact Manager. Congratulations, Vanessa! And thank you to the both of our amazing Friends of Pride awardees.
And I'd like to invite up to the stage Tom Noel, Larry's husband, to help present this next award. Round of applause for Tom. Right over here, Tom. Come right over here, right next to me, baby. Right here, just stand right here. This year, Larry T. Baza Arts and Culture Award goes to a visual and performing arts organization who elevates the LGBTQ community in service of education, advocacy, visibility, justice, and joy. This award is in honor of the legacy of Larry T. Baza, a longtime champion of arts, culture, equity, and justice. Please join us in congratulating the San Diego Women's Chorus, your 2022 Larry T. Baza Arts and Culture Award recipients. The Women's Chorus is a nonprofit, lesbian-identified feminist community chorus that strives to entertain and inspire audience with music that speaks to issues as diverse as human rights, love, world peace, religious freedom, environmental harmony, inclusion, and cultural diversity. Founded in 1987, the community activist Cynthia Lawrence Wallace, SDWC, has grown from a group of 14 lesbians gathered around a piano in a private home to a thriving community with over 150 members. What? They're back to in-person shows and performances now, but during the pandemic and under the guidance of artistic director Kathleen Henson, they were one of the few performing art organizations that quickly and successfully pivoted to virtual rehearsals and performances, creating at least 6 fully virtual concerts, as it is often heard about the women's chorus, "Come for the music, stay for the heart." Congratulations, Women's Chorus.
And now to welcome back our amazing Executive Director of San Diego Pride, Fernando Lopez.
I don't know if you can hear the fun over there, but it sounds like I've got fans. Oh, happy Pride, everyone! Oh, for the chorus. Look, I am about to introduce someone who really does not need any introduction at all. Was our city council member, was a council president, was our assembly member, my assembly member, your current mayor. And like, by the way, we have a lesbian governor like for the next 15 minutes and a gay mayor. Because San Diego Pride does it right. That's some big city energy, right? Also, I really like the sound of Governor Tony Atkins. I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, so please welcome the most handsome mayor the city has ever seen, your mayor, Todd Gloria.
Oh, Fern, thank you for that introduction. It probably passes a fact check, but that is not a steep hill to climb, right? Love you as well. Good evening to everyone, and thank you all so much for being here. You know, I'm hearing a little static in the back of my background. I think we can drown him out. What do you think? Can you give us a noise? You all are so incredible. You are my community, and I love every single one of you. It is the honor of a lifetime to be able to stand here at this rally in front of this community, my community, as the first openly LGBTQ person elected mayor of the 8th largest city in the country, the 2nd largest in California. You all made that happen, and I thank you so very, very much. A lot of our council members are here. There was one that was overlooked, and I just want to take the opportunity. Being mayor is great, but you need a great city council, and we have an incredible one with 2 openly LGBTQ members, Dr. Jen and Stephen Whitburn. I want to give it up though for our out-elected officials. But I also want to give a shout out to someone who's overlooked. No disrespect, a lot of love for this ally from our community, our city council president, Sean Elo Rivera. Sean, thank you for being here, my friend. So this city council and I are working every single day to create a city that works for all of us. We're creating a city where all of us can feel included, all of us have opportunity, all of us can have a place to go and be safe and well cared for. And I've been noticing, as I've been working across this city this week, I've noticed that Pride's hitting a little different this year, right? It's feeling a little different this year. Maybe it's because we've been apart for more than 2 years, not being able to have this opportunity. But this opportunity, this pause that has happened has given us a reminder about the origins of this pride, the origins of prides across this country. That this was a demonstration, not a parade, but a march, a political action against violence and suppression, against those who wanted us to stay in the closet, and for all of us saying that we will never, ever do that. This is where I want to give a shout out to my friend, Nicole Murray Ramirez, one of the first 3 people who applied for the first Pride permit. Nicole, thank you for creating this ground that we walk on every single day. We thank you, we love you, Nicole. The movement that Nicole struggle started, and it started at Stonewall, is something that we've been fighting on for decades now. And through it, we've gotten the opportunity to serve in the military, to marry the person we love, to immigrate, to be safer in our homes and in our jobs. But we know that our progress is fragile. We know that a certain Supreme Court justice recently told us very clearly that our marriage equality deserves a second look. No. We know that there are states that want us not to say gay. Thank you, sister. And we know that in this community, in this country, LGBTQ people, particularly trans people, are the subject of violence and of hate. That's worthy of a boo, everybody. And for him too. So here's the deal. Yes, Pride is a celebration. It's about being out, it's about being proud, but it's also a demonstration in saying that we will not go back, we will not be afraid, and instead, in fact, we will fight. Are you all with me on that? And as your mayor, I want to say this very, very clearly. San Diego has your back. California has your back. We will always be a welcoming, safe place for our LGBT community. Thank you all for making that possible. But I tell you, as privileged as we are, community, as privileged as we are here in the city and in this state, the fact of the matter is, as I just mentioned, we got work to do on the national level. Am I right? And that's why I am so proud to introduce to you the person who is going to give our keynote address. He is someone who is doing that work at the national and the international level. My friend here who's about to speak, he has broken down barriers for the LGBT community. He is often our voice in some of the most powerful rooms in this country, and boy am I glad that he is there on our behalf, and you certainly will be after you hear his comments. During the Reggie Greer, give it up for Reggie, isn't it? Yeah? A big San Diego welcome, you guys. My friend Reggie here, let me tell you about him. He currently serves as the Biden-Harris administration as a senior advisor and the U.S. Special Envoy to advance human rights of the LGBTQI+ persons, an office that's within the United States Department of State, everybody. That's what this administration is doing for all of us. During the 2020 campaign, when you knew everything was on the line, we could have had the status quo of crazy, or we could go back to normalcy and LGBTQ promotion and advocacy. Reggie was on the front lines as an LGBTQ+ engagement director for the Biden-Harris campaign, and we knew what that did. That sent Donald Trump back to Florida. Reggie helped make that possible. Because Reggie is so incredible and so talented and so smart, President Biden selected him to be the White House Director of Priority Placement and then a Senior Advisor on LGBTQ+ engagement for the President. That's a big deal, everybody. Reggie, can you text Uncle Joe right now? We want to talk to him some more about some money for San Diego. We got to fix some roads around here, everybody, right? Listen, we have so much work to do, but I sleep better at night no matter these tumultuous times we find ourselves in, because this speaker is in the White House doing the work on our behalf. Would you please do me the honor of giving the warmest San Diego welcome that you have ever given anybody to my friend and our fighter in the national government, Reggie Greer, everybody.
Pride San Diego. Give one more round of applause to our great San Diego Mayor, Todd Gloria. And can we also get a round of applause for the San Diego Pride team, volunteers, the youth, everyone that has made this rally possible. My name is Reggie Greer. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am a proud Black gay man with a disability. It is such a joy and pleasure to be joining you here in sunny San Diego to celebrate Pride this weekend. Throughout my time as an LGBTQI+ advocate and serving in government, I have been so fortunate to meet so many beautiful LGBTQI+ people from around the country and from around the world. But I'm here today as myself to deliver one simple message to you. It is that we will win. If the last 2.5 years have taught us anything, difficult, but we will win. There's a cloud of uncertainty and fear over our community as we speak. In the United States right now, anti-LGBTQI+ state lawmakers and organizations have teamed up to introduce over 300 extremely cruel and discriminatory bills. Bills that President Biden himself has called bullying disguised as legislation. 300. Think about that for a moment. But we will win because we have to win. You might be asking or have asked, why is this happening right now? And let's be clear, most of the anti-LGBTQI+ state legislative bills introduced this year explicitly target transgender, non-binary, and intersex people. Those same anti-LGBTQI+ lawmakers and organizations believe that these laws are politically expedient and will erode popular support for LGBTQI+ issues. They would rather LGBTQI+ people stay silent, go back into the closet, or disappear. That's where you boo. Anti-LGBTQI+ leaders have used hateful rhetoric to cruelly refer to members of our own community, like abnormal, and other words that I choose to not repeat or give the dignity of repeating today. And in 70+ countries around the world, LGBTQI+ status and conduct are still criminalized, which has led to unspeakable acts of violence, discrimination, and bigotry. But we won't stay silent, right? I believe that we will win because despite the many challenges that LGBTQI+ people face here in the United States and around the world, LGBTQI+ equality is on the march forward, and our community is growing. Here's what gives me hope. More and more LGBTQI+ youth and people are coming out, speaking their truth, and protesting against hateful policies like the Don't Say Gay or trans bills. There are over 1,000 LGBTQI+ elected officials currently serving across the United States, and that's a historic number. And that's a group that includes our mayor, and includes Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins, and so many others who are gathered here today. And in cities and towns across America, pride marches are being held for the very first time. But it's really exciting is that pride marches are now happening around the world in countries where just a few short years ago, they would have been inconceivable. And I'm personally grateful to serve in an administration in Washington where a record 14% of us identify as LGBTQI+. The result has been 2 executive orders from President Biden to advance LGBTQ+ equality here at home and around the globe, and address harmful, discriminatory policies like the onslaught of anti-LGBTQ+ legislation and discriminatory practice like the so-called conversion therapy. But we know, as evidence today, that our work is far from done. I keep coming back to a quote from Coretta Scott King, the late wife of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. And she said, "Freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it in every generation." There will always be reciprocating forces bringing our community together and tearing it down. Over the past 3 decades, we have seen a tremendous amount of progress in our country on LGBTQ+I+ equality. So we cannot be completely surprised or get complacent by the reality that there will be forces committed to rolling back that progress. We will win because the spirit of Stonewall is protest and pride. It is a celebration in the face of adversity. And it is the determination to continue fighting for our rights, for our community, and for each other, because that is what we have been called to do. So I want to leave you with 2 simple takeaways. Be visible. To elected officials To elected officials and movement leaders and allies, we have an obligation to continue elevating LGBTQI+ voices in our work. And to LGBTQI+ family, all of my family gathered here today, your presence and your queerness are blessings. When people are not looking, they are learning from you. And the second takeaway is to spread joy and hope. Love each other and don't despair. I know these times are tough, and it is easy to think that hate is abundant. It is easy to think about the guy across the street shouting at us right now. But let me tell you, be confident that the future that we're building together will come to pass. Winning is having pride in ourselves and in our community. Winning is queer joy, finding it and keeping it. Winning is LGBTQI+ people thriving and discovering our own excellence. Winning is building and sustaining our communities and institutions with an eye toward equity and justice. This pride, all of us, we must have clarity of purpose, a commitment we make to ourselves and to our community that must be unbreakable and enduring. So say it with me, we will win. We will win. We will win. Thank you, everybody.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Reggie, for that truly empowering words and letting us know that we will always win. Now, to continue this Black excellence on stage, it's my pleasure to bring up the incomparable Tracy Jada O'Brien to present our final award to our Community Grand Marshal.
Hey everybody, happy Pride! Can I get a hey bitch? Okay, hey bitch. Hey, happy Pride. So, in 2022, over 300 anti-LGBT bills were proposed in state legislatures across the United States, primarily targeting transgender youth, whether limiting or eliminating access to sports or bathroom or gender-affirming care. I'm nervous. Whether limiting or eliminating access to sports, bathroom, inclusive education, or life-saving health care, these bills have been created to create a hostile environment for our transgender youth from Maine to California. Being a youth is very difficult, with these added pressures making legislative bodies our very existence. As a person who left home in 1971, running for my literal life against the oppression of family, education, and social environment. In the face of all this hostility and struggle, it's more important than ever to love these babies. It's more important than ever to acknowledge these babies. It's more important than ever to see these babies. It's more important than ever to acknowledge and love these babies. San Diego are transgender babies. I need to say something. I'll be 71 years old next Friday. I transitioned in 1971 at age 18. There is a little black trans girl standing behind me, too afraid to come to the podium. Let's give her some love. Rebecca. All right, give some love, okay? Okay, could you imagine where I would be if I could be my real authentic self at that age? The future belongs to these babies. The San Diego, happy Pride. Transgender and proud. Black, transgender, and proud. Happy Pride, San Diego. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Tracy Jada O'Brien and our transgender youth. Oh, you can stay up here and dance if you want to, because we're wrapping things up. We got the youth band coming out. San Diego Pride Youth Band is one of the programs of San Diego Pride. I don't know if you know, but San Diego Pride actually has over 40 year-round education and advocacy programs. So when you support Pride, you're supporting all of these programs as well. Can I get a Trans Lives Matter? Trans Lives Matter! Trans Lives Matter! That's right! Couple points of note. It's the 10-year anniversary of the renaming of Harvey Milk Street, or the renaming of Harvey Milk Street. 10 years since we've had that. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Pride. Thank you, our mayor, Todd Gloria, who helped make that happen. It is also 10 years since we erected the Pride flag here in San Diego, right here in the heart of Hillcrest. Thank you to the HBA who made that happen, and all the donors. And HBA is hosting us here tonight, and the block party tonight. It's also 10 years since we first had our service members in uniform. Yeah. We were the first in the country. The Pentagon gave that approval. We've got our own marching band. They'll be at the parade tomorrow. So, 10 years ago, we raised the Pride flag for the first time. And it's how we have incorporated that into the spirit of Stonewall Rally. Kicks off Pride, lets us know we're here, we're under the banner. But we play or sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow every time when we raise that flag, because it has become an anthem for those who we lost to the HIV and AIDS pandemic. And so this year, this last few years, I don't know what the hell happened. Some things, right? Look, all of us here, people all around the world have suffered unimaginable loss in the last couple of years. And so, as we play, as the youth band plays Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I want you to take a moment and bring in those that you lost in the last couple years. The people who didn't get to see the return of Pride in full scale. Think about their memory, how they've helped you, the strength that they brought to you over the years. I want to call out folks like Robert Lynn and Tony Rose and Larry Baza and Irene Mesa Herrig and Christopher Sheehan, and Stan Lewis, and Tom Senzi, and Jorge Raul Leon, and Bob Nelson, and any other name that you want to say out loud. So as we play and reflect on the gratitude that you have for them, Russ, kids, it's all you. Let's raise this flag. Girl, all right, we're almost there. So again, it's just been a year, and I'm gonna go off script. So listen, we don't have pride because we're free. We have pride because we're not. Religious freedom was there to keep us free. We wrote that into the Constitution. Our founders wrote that into the Constitution to keep us free, nothing else. And so if we hear voices like that, I want you to take this into consideration. That religion, we know religion has been used against us as a weapon. It was never supposed to be that. It was there to save us so we didn't make the mistakes that our ancestors did. Religion hurt so many of us. It's clear religion hurt that man too. Okay? You all got nothing better to do on a Friday night, honey. Religion did some damage. That is like, okay, so I have sympathy for that person. I have empathy for that person, because religion should never be used as a weapon, and religious freedom should never be an excuse to put anyone in prison, to lock anyone up. Religious freedom is there to keep us free. Girl. Right now, you heard it already, right? Religious freedom is being used all across this country. To what? To ban abortion? To ban health care? I'm sorry, what? On the basis of what? What is that doing? So we're banning abortion on religious freedom grounds, and somehow now what? We're putting women and trans folks and LGBTQ people and their parents and their guardians and their healthcare providers in prison? That doesn't sound like religious freedom to me. Religious freedom is being used as an excuse to attack our trans youth, like Tracy was telling us. Speaking truth, as always. So what? Right now, there's hundreds of pieces of legislation across this country where religious freedom is being used as an excuse to put our parents and our trans youth and our healthcare providers in prison. That doesn't sound like religious freedom to me. Does it sound like it to you? That's right. I went off script, sorry. It's fine, it's over there. Look, all of us as queer people, as LGBTQIA LMNOP community, know, we know what it's like to live every single day under threat, under target, under discrimination, under threat of violence. We know what it's like. And that's why Pride exists. So you can go out and for one frickin' weekend, have some safe space to yourself. Heaven forbid. Why we have pride. And so I know that our community will not let fear and intimidation win. I know that. Because our celebration is justice. Our joy is defiance. Our love is insubordinate, and our revelry can be a revolution. So we're not going to shrink ourselves into the closets or the prisons of our past. I know that. We are not going to let hate win. This year, this Pride, we will stand up, we will root out hate, and we're gonna have a freaking good Pride. So whether some people like it or not, this weekend, we're gonna pursue justice with joy. And I gotta tell you one more thing. I used to be a homeless kid on this street here in Hillcrest. So if a little homeless kid from an anti-gay town can to survive, to live, to be on this stage today that with love, action, and pride, all thing is possible. Happy Pride, welcome home. Russ?
Sure, but I only have one. About 1 minute left for an amendment. Oh, that's good.
You did it.